Hey Bobcat fans, Al Weston here for another Bobcat Coach's Corner. Time to talk some men's basketball with head coach Terry Sellers. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
Glad to be here.
Well, the regular season's come to a close and a good finish for the Bobcats as we're in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Congratulations on that. And when you started off at that 1-5 in the league play, I bet you probably didn't think you would get here. How did it all happen, Coach?
Well, I think the guys, the games we were losing were very close games, and I think the guys they just stepped up and started playing just a little harder and really pulled together. When you have some adversity and you can kind of fall apart, or you can really come together as a team. And I think guys, we got good high character guys, and they just decided they wanted to have a good season, and they were determined to go out and just outwork our opponents and really battle, and that's what they did, and started winning those close games.
And you battled through the last week as well. Just to recap that action, Georgia Southwestern on Wednesday. Tell me a little bit about that contest and how we pulled that off.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought Georgia Southwestern, of course, it was senior night for them, and they came out extremely intense, and I thought of all the games we played this year that both teams played harder than in any game we've had thus far. They really played hard. I was really proud of our guys because if we had not been ready to compete and ready to lay it on the line for 40 minutes, we would have lost by a significant margin, I think. But the guys were ready, and so it was a great battle, and it went to overtime, and we were just very fortunate. We made just enough plays got enough stops, and Mike Augustine knocked down a huge shot with about 15 seconds to go, and that was probably at that time, obviously a huge shot for us, and we were able to get a stop on the other end and escape with a great win for us.
All right. Well, Saturday's regular season finale, you get an outstanding game from Ryan Aquino, but unfortunately not enough as we lose to Clayton State. Seemed like your pal up there, Gordon Gibbons, might have had our number for the first two regular season contests, huh?
Well, I tell you, Clayton State's a very talented team. And when you look at their personnel and trying to prepare to play them, they've lost some close games, and but they have some very talented players, and it was a tough game. Both teams, I didn't think either team was particularly sharp, but they got a nice roll there, and came out the second half and got a pretty good lead, and then our guys battled back, which I had no doubt they would give it all they had to try to get back in the game. We were down 13, actually took a 2-point lead, and then had a couple opportunities to extend the lead, and we were not able to do it. They came down and made some shots, and they held on and made their free throws down the stretch when we had to foul them, and they went ahead, and I think it ended up being a 5-point margin. But it was a hard-fought game on the road, and we just didn't have enough guys that really shot the ball as well as we needed to. Ryan obviously had a great game with 25 points and 17 rebounds. Certainly did his part, but we just didn't shoot the ball particularly well. And just like we've done many times this season when we've come up a little bit short, we just didn't have enough guys that contributed on the offensive end. I didn't think to beat a good Clayton team on the road.
Another outstanding game, like I said, from Ryan Aquino. I think he's up to either 16 or 17 double-doubles now this year. He's got 8 20-point games. I mean, this is a kid that has really taken the team on his back down the stretch here. Another good chance to try and bring in, I think he's one of the top candidates for the Peach Belt Player of the Year. What have you seen different about Ryan in this senior season? Is it just a matter of he's staring down the barrel of the end of his collegiate career and he wanted to step it up a little bit more? What do you think it is, Coach?
Well, I think that's probably a part of it. I'm just saying Ryan, his confidence level has just gone up so much this year. I mean, he is, in years past, I thought Ryan was so hard on himself, and if things didn't go particularly well, he really got down on himself. This year he has not done that. I mean, he just continued to play. I'm just saying his maturity as a player, he's had as good a senior season as any player I've ever coached. He has had an absolutely, to average a double-double, I believe that's correct, yep. A double-double. And it's a good solid, 17 points or so, 16, 17 points and 10 plus rebounds a game. I've never had a player to do that. So I'm really proud of him. I couldn't be prouder of and what he's meant to our team. He's definitely been the most valuable player in the conference in terms of what he's meant to our team. And he's been consistent. He's been Mr. Consistency all season long. So he's had a fantastic season.
I tell you, it reminds me a lot. Again, I haven't been here for as much basketball as you have, but it reminds me a lot of Sean Keaton's senior season, where down the stretch it just seemed like he was going to take the team right on his back and get them into the playoffs and hopefully an NCAA tournament. And it seems like, again, just Ryan seems to be taking that sort of leadership role for you. Is he a vocal leader as well as a leader on the floor, or does the vocality come from someplace else for you leadership-wise?
Well, he has been much more vocal than this year. He's not a guy that's he's not real vocal. He's not going to say a lot, but the guys respect him, and when he does speak, they listen to him, and they have a lot of respect for him.
And that's crucial to have, that field type general for you on the floor when you can't necessarily be out there as one of the five as much as I'm sure you'd like to. Okay, well let's look forward. Made that Peach Belt Conference tournament as the third seed in the West Division, going to take on the East number 2 seed and a familiar foe in Augusta State. I know a tightly contested battle during the regular season at home. Unfortunately, a tight loss for us. And what's different between here and there, and how are we going to pull off a win in the first round?
Well, Augusta State, they have an outstanding team, so it's going to take a really good effort on our part. And I think the first time it was just a battle. I expect to see another great battle. Two teams really, in some ways, similar. Teams that really like to play defense, and teams that are going to really give a great effort on the court. And it's going to get down to, which team makes the most shots and is able to execute and offensively do the things that I think we're 1 and 2 in the conference. I know we are in the fewest turnovers, and both teams are right there close together as far as holding our opponents down, as far as our points allowed. So I think it's going to be a real battle between two very similar teams.
It seems like Augusta State kind of different from most of the Peach Belt teams. A lot of the Peach Belt teams have one particular individual that does a lot of their scoring load and has the ball in their hands a lot. This seems like a real well-balanced team where you can't focus on a guy defensively. You got to have a full team scheme, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's one thing that makes Augusta a really good team this year. It's a little bit easier to game plan when you facing an opponent that has a couple guys that they rely real heavily on from an offensive standpoint. But Augusta State, they got a couple guys, but you better watch out for those other 3 guys also. So their balance concerns me because we are not able to really slant our defense toward any 1 or 2 guys. So that's going to be certainly going to be a defensive challenge for us.
All right, well, watch that challenge. Watch the Bobcats rise to that challenge. If you can get out there, Columbus State going to be our host for the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. We're going to be playing Friday at 3 p.m. against Augusta State, as I mentioned. Georgia College putting together a fan bus for the students, and if there's empty seats left after Thursday, we'll open it up to the general public. Get over to the den to register yourself for that fan bus. If you can't make the trip, again, follow all the links at gcbobcats.com. They're going to have live video streaming. They're going to have live stats for you through the Peach Belt website. And then we'll also have, of course, Scott McLeod calling the action as well from Columbus. So make sure you check that action. And our time's up here, Coach. Good luck to you this week.
Appreciate it.
For Terry Sellers, Al Weston, for the Bobcat Coach's Corner.